Hi there, Alpena Wildcats. This is Principal Tom Berriman here. I want to welcome all our Wildcats back to Alpena High School as we look to kick off the 2020-2021 school year. It will be absolutely amazing to see all these smiling half faces back on campus as we kick off the school year. I want to just go through a few reminders, some new things, some new protocols in place as we come back to school here to welcome students. So first, here's just some tips for face-to-face instructions and how you could be successful. Again, we ask that you please pay attention to your children before sending them to school, looking for symptoms like fever, sore throat, uncontrolled cough. Essentially, you're looking for anything above baseline. For example, if a student traditionally has allergies, you're looking for anything worsening than what they would normally have this time of year with allergies. Also, please monitor any close contact with any COVID patients, things of that nature. Traveling to places that are high risk and where you're unable to socially distance. This is primarily things like airplanes, things of that nature. Please monitor their symptoms. Communicate with us here at Alpena High School if your kids are symptomatic. We will be more than happy to welcome any communication as far as helping with sickness, keeping them home so that we can help your children continue their educational opportunities here at the high school while maintaining any type of quarantine situation. Again, follow mask expectations. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. Talk to your children about appropriate hygiene behaviors, things like washing their hands, avoiding touching the face, hand sanitizing, wearing the mask, coughing into arms, sneezing into arms. Just being very aware of where they're at, who they're around, hygiene, things of that nature. These are some things that you as families can help us here at the high school maintain safety and maintain healthy environment as kids return to school. As I mentioned earlier, masks are required here at Alpena High School the moment that students enter the building, so we ask that they can bring their own mask. We encourage you to do so, cloth coverings. Then I could also wear the gaiter type coverings as well, anything that covers the nose and the mouth. The face shields are only allowed if they are also combined with a cloth covering. So again, those masks are required when they enter the building. There are extra masks available at entry points when they enter the school, as well as in every classroom. Lunch is going to be brand new this year. It is not the same lunch procedures that we've had for the last few years. Recently, the Alpena Public Schools Board of Education has closed campus for Alpena High School during lunch hour. This is to help enforce safety protocols, things of that nature, so that students are not coming and going as frequently. So essentially what it means is students are no longer permitted to leave campus during lunch. So that's just one brand new protocol we have here at the high school. Students may unmask when actively eating. So while they're sitting in the various areas we have for lunch, they may unmask while eating, but as soon as they are done eating, we ask that they remask while inside the building. As they enter the building, we will be helping them understand where the protocols are for lunch, 3 students per table. This is to allow proper socially distancing, since this is the only time that students will be inside the building, but not wearing their face protectors. Students may eat inside the building in 4 areas, commonly the large commons. We have areas set up in the mini commons in the senior lounge, as well as we have multiple tables set up in the areas in front of the auditorium. These are areas where students may eat this year. We've opened up multiple areas so that students have more places to eat to provide for socially distanced. This is an example of one table in the large commons. We ask students to sit 2 on one side, 1 on the other, and to alternate in a pattern. With our 18 tables we have set up in the large commons in that fashion. This way, there is some form of safety for students that are unmasked as they eat in the commons. They may go outside during the nicer months of the school year, hopefully the beginning of the school year. Here is a map of the areas where students may go during lunch. They may go out into the front courtyard area in front of the auditorium. They may go out into any courtyard area. This includes the area between B and the main office. This includes the courtyard off the campus closet, as well as the courtyard off of the large commons between E and D house. We do want to remind all students that the student parking lot is off limits during lunch. Students may not go out to their cars at any time during lunch. That is to maintain safety as well as to enforce which students are coming and going during lunch to, again, ensure the safety of the cohort. So other new procedure this year will be the entering and exiting of Alpena High School. Closed campus does not just apply to lunch. It also applies to the building as a whole. We ask parents that you drop students off as close to 7:30 a.m. as possible. This is to help keep the number of students in the building between the times the bus arrives and the time that first hour begins at 7:35. If need be, I know there's a lot of reasons why students are dropped off early. Parents are working, things like that. We certainly want to respect that. So again, students may enter the building around 7:10 a.m. as early as they needed to be at that time. We can make prior arrangements as well if they need to be here earlier, but we encourage all students to arrive as close to 7:30 a.m. if they are not riding a bus. The drop-off area for students not riding school buses is continuing to be the back oval. Again, masks must be put on as soon as they enter the building. We do have extra masks at the main entrance as well as the student entrance across from the plaza pool. Again, here's a map of our entry points. As you can see, the buses will continue to drop students off in the front oval, and we ask that parents drop students off in the back oval. We anticipate there being an increase in parents dropping students off due to some parents wishing for them not to ride on school buses. Again, we respect that, but we ask that you please be patient as you drop your students off in the back oval in the morning. As I mentioned previously, the closed campus protocol is also for the building as a whole. The Board of Education also will be closing campus off to any guest beginning on September the 8th. Nobody's allowed to enter Alpena High School that is not a student or a staff without prior approval from an administrator here at the high school. Again, we ask all students to remain on campus for the duration of their day, with the exception of dual enrollment or early college courses. For example, if a student has a face-to-face class first hour, but then has online second hour, in the past they've been able to leave and come back. That is no longer the case, so we ask that students stay on campus for the duration of their face-to-face instruction. There is an overflow area in the large commons for students to work remotely if they have an hour for an online class. If a student has an online class that begins at the end of the day and no longer has a face-to-face course, for example, a student may have an online class 5th and 6th hour or just 6th hour. At that time, students are encouraged to leave the campus if they can so that they are not on campus anymore. Again, the only reason we ask students to return to the building if they've left is if they were at a medical or dental appointment. We'll talk more about that shortly. This is what the main entrance will look like now in the back oval. Beginning at 7:35 a.m., anybody entering the building will have to go through our main entrance checkpoint. They must be approved by an administrator if they are to clear through this area and enter into the building. Again, this is for protecting our cohorting of students as best as we can. If you need to check out your student, we know things happen. We ask that you please call the attendance office, and the number is here, to speak to Ms. Howard as far as arranging for your student to be checked out. If you are picking them up, you will pick them up in the back oval. We ask that you do not come into the building. The student will meet you outside the building in the back oval. So please be respectful of this protocol and call in ahead to have your student dismissed so that they can be outside waiting for you. If you are bringing your student back to campus from an appointment, we ask that you please get a signed note from the professional that you were seeing that just states that your student was seen in this office on this date. Bringing that piece of paper back from the office will be enough for your student to re-enter the high school for the remainder of that day. Just a reminder, here is your schedule for the first week of school. Monday is obviously Labor Day, so there are no classes on Monday. We will start classes on Tuesday with our green group reporting for in-person learning. The white group, please check your student email. You will be receiving an email from your instructors welcoming you to school on the first day. And you will be welcomed into the building for your first day of in-person learning for the white group on Wednesday. Then we go to our 5-day week, and here is our normal schedule for a 5-day week, with green being present for in-person learning on Monday and Thursday, with White being here in-person learning on Tuesday and Friday. Teachers will be explaining to your students the first week of school what those remote learning days will look like and their expectations for those days. Please note, students are asked to bring their Chromebook to school every day, charged, ready to learn. Keep in mind, we are all in this journey together. This is not what we've come to be used to calling Alpena High School. It's going to look very, very different when students arrive next week. But we ask that everybody has patience and grace as we begin a new school year. And together we can get through this to where we get back to where we open our doors to all of our students. We are very encouraged by our participation of our parents as we get ready to return to learn. Please do not hesitate to contact us if there's any questions or anything we can do to help you through this process. We are excited to welcome students back to our building on September the 8th and September the 9th. As always, go Wildcats.